a reminder, Shelby, our wonderful case manager, made this we did a presentation at a couple different groups in town, One Stop and Workforce Development. So I just want to remind you some of these things may be triggering, but I know this is something that we're used to hearing. The Salvation Army mission, the Salvation Army is over 150 years old, about 166 years old now. Our mission is we're part of an international movement. We're part of the Universal Christian Church, and our message is based on the Bible. Our ministry is motivated by the love of God. Our mission is to preach the gospel and to meet human needs in His name without discrimination. And that's where the Seeds of Hope comes in. The Salvation Army is a church, but it provides many social services around the world, and social justice, human trafficking, domestic violence, sexual assault, victims of crime is where we are and what we do here in Las Vegas. And then this is just part of our statements is participating, trying to move this over, sorry friends. Participating in religious worship or religious instruction and proselytizing are voluntary and they're not required to receive services here. We do provide many services, family services, veteran services. We have an LGBTQ plus safety dorm here as well. So Salvation Army provides many services here in Las Vegas. The Seeds of Hope program, it did begin in 2006, and the mission, the Seeds is an acronym for saving, empowering, educating, and restoring dreams to those to lives shattered by human trafficking. And we have provided even more services to those that have been exploited, that are in the sex industry, especially in the last 2 years because of the COVID. We believe that it's an offense against human and God, and that we work vigilantly for the prevention and the restoration of survivors. Again, the program started in 2006 as a pretty small program. Stacy, I cannot remember her last name, but she started the program in 2006 here in Las Vegas, and then you may be familiar with Brittany Hotbell. She led it for 4 years. It was very capable, and then I've been the coordinator for almost 2 years now during the pandemic. Who we serve victims of crime, human trafficking, sexual assault, domestic violence, and then those that are in the sex industry and those that have been sexually exploited here in Las Vegas, especially as a result of the pandemic. It's brought a lot of folks to the surface. And the services that we do provide through VOCA and through other grants, foundation grants, local grants, and even Salvation Army funding, we provide emergency housing, transitional housing. We've been working very hard, and we've been part of many groups here in town as we're trying to figure out what the gaps of service are and what is really needed here. And that is the emergency shelter specifically for victims of crime, human trafficking. There are some wonderful shelters here in town, and I think they're great and they provide wonderful services. But with our trauma, with our trauma cases, and with just some of the population that we serve, and I know you all are aware of this, but it can be re-triggering, re-traumatizing for some of the shelters. They may, especially for the human trafficking victims, they may have part of the family that's there, or it's open to the public. So some of the shelters just aren't real safe. And as we're pulling people off, the Salvation Army has a more homeless outreach team, and we have quite a large homeless camp here in Las Vegas. So as we're being presented with homeless, human trafficking victims, or sexual assault or domestic violence, you know, the desire is to have a shelter that's specific for this need. So on the Salvation Army property, we have an empty 32-bed facility. And we've been writing grants vigorously, and we're hoping to receive that OBC housing grant that would allow us to house clients anywhere from 90 days until what their definition of emergency housing is, up to 2 years. So we're hoping to get funding for that. It'll be 24/7 manned, and it will specifically address human trafficking, victims of crime, and those that are in the sex industry. We provide case management, transportation, bus passes. We help people with gas, with bills, clothing. We help with emergency clothing, as well as we do have our own clothing closet here called Esther's Closet. That was another result from the pandemic when things were closed. And then we also network with Dress for Success. That helps us quite a bit. We provide food, help out with groceries, victim advocacy, taking to court, filing restraining orders, doing what's needed for that. Again, services provided, crisis interventions and safety planning. That is regularly happens. We work with medical and dental care. We've even gone in and screened some of the doctors, dentists, and therapists to make sure that they are 100% trauma centered, so that from the time our client walks in the office to the time they see a nurse or doctor, that everybody's trauma informed and has that mindset. We help to connect them with benefits, whether it was stimulus, pandemic related, unemployment related, or it's disability, Medicaid, food stamps. We also do many mental health counseling referrals. We give them many options. Some of them are working on EMDR with some of the trauma issues. We also have developed quite a good relationship with One Stop, and we have quite a few of our clients in employment training, whether it's for dental assistance, cosmetology, record keeping. We have a few of those. We also do legal referrals, and then we also refer to substance abuse treatment as well. Sorry about that. We are down here. And then access to childcare. We work with some of the places here in town, Sunrise, and then I think it's the Urban League that we work with for childcare. We have many community partners, and we're very grateful for just the great team we have down here in Las Vegas. You can read that Refuge for Women, Scarlet Hope, Hookers for Jesus, Rape Crisis, Dress for Success, Safe Nest, Legal Aid, One Stop, Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. There's a great team here in town, and we're very grateful to be part of it. We are seeing folks with polytrauma, as I'm sure you are, a lack of job history, which makes it difficult for them to gain employment. And then a lot, we have people with 10 separate trauma events, even with, mass shootings or domestic terrorism. So, and then trauma, this is something that we used for our, for the One Stop, because folks just didn't know what trauma is. So this is just a basic explanation of trauma. And then, with a lot of the women, we have the trauma histories and mental health struggles, physical limitations, physical disabilities. And our goal and our hope is that we connect them all with safety first and foremost. We try to show trustworthy and transparency. We offer peer support and mutual self-help. We collaborate with a wonderful community of providers. And we try to empower them, give them a voice, give them a choice. And we try to be not only culturally efficient, but we try to be culturally sensitive as best as we can, with the many gender issues and just a lot of the cultural issues that are going on. We're trying just to be aware and sensitive to everyone's need. And then we have a referral process. Right now we have probably 14 apartments. We have apartments on site, and we have rented a couple other apartments. And then we have our own Salvation Army Family Service office that works with vouchers, that works the hard to house, that have the North Las Vegas housing vouchers. And with this new money that's been made available through Project Home, we will be getting even more apartments. But how we do our apartments is we need a referral from another agency sharing that they're ready to be placed in transitional housing and they can stay up there 2 to 3 years. And we just help walk alongside them on their journey as they figure out what life is going to look like. We do have 2 apartments that are set aside for crisis that we use. And I think that is it. We do have a couple of groups and classes. We've had to stop a couple times during the pandemic, but we usually have 2 groups or classes for our clients a week. We have a painting class about once a quarter. So any questions?
Awesome, thank you, Jill. I haven't seen any questions pop up in the chat. If you guys have questions for Erin about the Salvation Army, you can go ahead and ask her now. We'll give you guys a few minutes to pop up with questions. Oh, can you go back to your slide with the contact information, Erin? Thank you. Awesome. Okay. Well, it doesn't look like we have any questions just right now. I am going to make Bridge Counseling a presenter now. You are presenters. You can go ahead and share your screen, and I'm going to give it over to you guys today. Thank you, Erin with Salvation Army.
I can't share my screen. It's X'd out.
I've got it, Michelle.
Okay, great. Thanks, Dan. Hi, everyone. My name is Michelle Labani. I'm the grant accountant for Bridge Counseling Associates. Thank you very much for the opportunity to provide an overview of Bridge Counseling, who we are and what we do. We are very proud of the work we do within the community, and especially as it relates to victims of crime and their survivors of the Route 91 tragedy. Today, I would like to introduce Dan Cifalora, Bridge Counseling's Assistant Clinical Director. He has been with the organization for over 6 years and has a wealth of experience in treating mental health and substance abuse issues. Then we have Milagros Ruiz, who has been with Bridge for 6 years as well and is a lead clinician. She is integral to many of our programs, especially the programs directly related to serving victims and families. I personally want to thank them for taking time out of their busy schedules to be here today and share some of the aspects of our work here at Bridge. Thank you both. So with that, I'll turn the presentation over to them. Thank you.
Wow, thank you, Michelle. I don't think I've ever had such a nice introduction. So I appreciate it. We're really happy to be here today to tell you about Bridge and explore how we can be even more of a help to the community. Bridge Counseling, we're celebrating our 50-year anniversary this year. We're the oldest and largest nonprofit behavioral health organization in the state of Nevada. We run 2 locations. They're both certified community behavioral health clinics. In addition to that, we are also a national mentor for new CCBHCs that are launching across the country. We are mentoring them through that process and how what has been successful for us in Nevada and how they can duplicate our model into other states. A CCBHC, for those of you that are not familiar, The Certified Community Behavioral Health Clinic is a national designation. It's created by the federal government. And we were one of the pilot programs within the United States. Nevada was selected as a trial state, and Bridge Counseling itself was one of the first in Nevada. It has 9 required services to be a CCBHC, as you can see listed in this handy little graphic of screening and diagnosis, mental health and substance abuse services, primary health screenings, case management, psychosocial rehabilitation, family and peer support, patient-centered planning, service district veterans, and 24-hour crisis support.
Hey guys, I'm so sorry. Can we hold just 1 second? We've got some background noise. I'm trying to mute it right now. Okay, I think I got it. Go ahead, continue. I apologize.
So these are the framework services that make up a certified community behavioral health clinic. Our goal and our framework is designed towards integrated care, where we can be that one-stop shop for clients to get their behavioral health, substance abuse, primary medical, get it all under one roof and make sure that no one is left behind. So with that, we're going to turn it over to Milagros. She tells us a little bit about our team.
Hi, this is Milagros Severin. So I will talk to you about our Bridge Counseling team. So we have 50 clinicians on the master level. We have marriage and family therapists, certified counselors, and social workers as well. Most of the clinicians are dual licensed, so we carry the mental health and the substance abuse license. Like 90% out of the clinicians have the 2 licenses. And we have the majority of Spanish-speaking clinicians in town. We have about 18 clinicians, bilingual clinicians in Spanish, and 7 in other language. So that's amazing services. We also very multicultural facility, and we have a lot of training on cultural diversity. In addition to that, we have a support team of psychiatrists, nurse practitioner, targeted case managers, and peer support service. Our services, well, it's like Dan was saying, we are one-stop shop. So we have all the services in one location. Each location has the same services. So we offer outpatient mental health services, substance abuse and co-occurring treatment. Research stated that there's a correlation between domestic violence and substance abuse. So sometimes some of the victims come to be treated for domestic violence and trauma, but they also have substance abuse disorders. So we treat both if needed. So how we do this, we offer comprehensive screening and assessment. So we offer psychiatric services, psychiatric evaluation and medication management, primary care screening and monitoring, targeted case management. And this is very helpful because if they need bus passes, transportation, child care, or so on, so we can offer, we can assist them with them. If individual sessions are not enough and they need to be seen more often or they need additional support, we offer peer support services. And we have a crisis intervention and stabilization team that we can see clients at any time. We do walk-ins crisis intervention. And we also had a hotline that is available to our clients, a 24 hours hotline they can call at any time. Another services is psychosocial rehabilitation and basic skills. So PSR, BST, basically, we also offer for the client or the children if needed. Delivery of services. So the treatment modality is individual, is couples, and family therapy. We specialize in family reunifications. We also offer group therapy. We have a specific group called HEART that is for victims, for people who has trauma. So we had it in both of the locations. We offer intensive outpatient services, which is called CURIM, is mental health and substance abuse. And mental health services, we a trauma-focused agency. Most of us had a training on EMDR and any other treatment modalities. We offer anger management group, parenting skills, and substance abuse prevention.
We approach treatment from an evidence-based model. Our clinical philosophy is person-centered, family-focused, and trauma-informed. Basically, we always strive on our clinical team not to do cookie-cutter treatment. We want all of our treatment to be personalized and tailored to the client's specific needs, what they're presenting with. Every client gets an assessment. From that assessment, we make personalized treatment recommendations and treatment plans. So every client that comes to the door will get the treatment and modalities and services that are going to benefit their presenting problems. We're also a treatment-focused organization. Our goal is always long-term sustained recovery and improved functioning. We believe that harm reduction has a place within the treatment journey, but our philosophy of our treatment team is really to get to the core of the problem and set up a lifestyle that's long-term and sustainable. We also use a number of evidence-based practices to objectively monitor progress using some of these scales listed here. And we have a lot of oversight from the state and federal government to show progress for our clients over time. And we have to demonstrate that we're getting results from the treatment practices that we're utilizing. As Milagros alluded to, we take training very seriously. In the past 2 years, we've devoted over $100,000 of our budget to training our clinical team. Some of the most recent trainings that we've done for our clinicians is EMDR, which is, everyone knows, the latest and greatest and the most effective tool for treating trauma disorders. We also focus on trauma-focused cognitive behavioral therapy, motivational interviewing, and dialectical behavior therapy. We've done all of those trainings in-house, so the majority of our staff is armed with these tools in their clinical toolbox to help those clients that are presenting with trauma, mental health, or substance abuse disorders.
So who do we serve? So pretty much we serve everybody. And so we serve adults, adolescents, and children. We love families. We serve also people with severe mental illness, chronic addiction, complex health profiles, and we serve severe emotional disturbance individuals or individuals with behavioral problems, survivors of abuse, neglect, and trauma. We have a very, Bridge Counseling had a big heart with trauma individuals, so and a lot of our staff are trained in trauma-focused therapy, so that helps a lot. We also serve individuals with substance abuse disorder, from mild to severe substance abuse disorder. We do relational therapy, so we do couples therapies, we do family therapy, we bring mom, dad, the children, everybody. We also have training on family reunification and so on. So also we serve special populations with significant legal issues, such as people that are court ordered. So we have a lot of experience with that. We have a strong relationship with the Department of Family Services, and we also have a program, Families in Transitions, who serve that particular population. And we, of course, serve our members, veterans, and first responders.
As far as funding is concerned, Bridge is credentialed with all forms of Medicaid, all the managed care organizations. We take every form of Medicaid, which is the majority of our clients are funded through Medicaid or Medicare. The next biggest chunk is private insurances. We are credentialed with a number of private insurances, definitely the ones that are most popular in Southern Nevada. If you're uninsured, we do have a number of grants and contracts available if we can fit you into one of those. Otherwise, for that person that is uninsured and does not qualify for any of our grants, we do offer a sliding scale based on your income, which does slide down to 0 if income is very low. And it's always our philosophy that no one will be turned away for inability to pay for treatment. We do have 2 locations. Our McLeod campus, where we're both at right now, is located on Flamingo and McLeod, right next to the Clark County Education Facility. And then our Alta campus is over in the medical district, right next to Metro headquarters on MLK and Alta. That is our main phone number. The same phone number gets you to both locations. And our website, of course, if you're interested. And then we're up for questions, but I'll leave that contact information up on the screen for everybody. But we're open to questions about our facility and the services that we offer.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. We did get a question pop up. Do you accept victims of crime as payment?
Yes, we do.
Excellent. Do we have any other questions or comments regarding anything that Bridge or Salvation Army has covered today? We have a quiet group today, it looks like. Well, thank you guys very much for sharing. I will leave your information up for just a couple more minutes, and then if you guys have any questions, go ahead and pop them in the chat box. Even if we move on to the next person presenting, we'll go ahead and answer them as we are able to. And Jenna and Genevieve, I went ahead and made you guys presenters so you can share your screen. We did get a couple comments. Thank you, and no questions, but thank you to both agencies. Very well done. Thank you, guys.
Okay, I'm just setting it up.
Excellent. Well, I can see your screen, so we've got success.
Okay.
Okay, just want to make sure. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Genevieve Embry, and
I am Jenna Halili.
and we are both advocates with Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, and we work at the Family Justice Center, or the FJC for short. So the Family Justice Center model is actually a national model. There are over 100 Family Justice Centers throughout the country. And FJCs are designed to better meet the needs of survivors by bringing services together under one roof. So rather than having to send victims all over town to get a protective order, to apply for victims of crime, to seek all these different services, we try as much as possible to have them be able to come in one safe location where they can feel comfortable, and then assist them as much as we can in getting as many things, as many as of their needs met. So we assist victims of domestic violence, sexual assault, and human trafficking. In order to seek services, a victim does not have to have a police report or have reported to any kind of law enforcement. They can just come in to get services that way. Immigration status does not matter. We will assist someone whether they're documented or not. So that's never a concern when people needs to be a concern when people come in. Located on site currently, things have changed since COVID, obviously. So we have Metro here. We have our felony domestic violence. Detectives are housed here along with their sergeant. We have full-time and part-time victim advocates. We also have the Rape Crisis Center and RISE, which is a human trafficking agency. And then we also have a lot of partners that are offsite that will come in if we have someone. So the Immigrant Home Foundation, if someone needs to apply for a U visa or they need help with their immigration status, they'll come in and meet with our clients. With the Legal Aid Center, we have where we can assist them also in applying. Like we have their applications that we can send over for them, just to try to help them not have to run around to apply to all the different services. So when a person first comes in, they'll greet, our LEST will greet them and kind of make sure they're in the right place, because often we have people who aren't quite in the right place, because we do protective orders, but we only do domestic violence ones. They'll do a short intake form, and then they'll meet with an advocate. And in that intake process, when they meet with an advocate, sometimes they know specifically why they're there. Like, I want to file a protective order. And that gives us a chance, as we speak with them about that, to also find out what else is going on with them, kind of find out what their needs may be, and often offer services that they, one, aren't aware of, or two, maybe didn't know they needed. It's a great time where we can, encourage them to seek counseling, help them with different things like, did you know that you can move out and break your lease? And so just oftentimes they come for one thing, and then we're able to offer them a lot more than they even knew they needed. So we have a few different WIC rooms. So we have a children's room where we can go, like if a client comes in and has small children, we can meet with them in the kids' room, so they're still around their children. They're not in a separate room, but the kids are distracted. They can watch cartoons, they can play with the toys, and we're able to meet with the parent. And it's much less stressful for them because they're not trying to keep their children quiet. The kids can play and they're not like listening to every word that the parent's saying. So that's just a great resource to have when children come in. And then we have a couple different meeting rooms. We do have like a computer room where if we have laptops available. So if they need to do job searches or apartment searches, or just have a safe place to check into their emails or social medias, different things like that, we do have laptops available that they can use. And sometimes they'll come back, like they might meet with us one day and they might come back another day just to come in and be able to use the computers. So one of the main things that people, when they just first come in, is because they would like to file a protective order. Like I previously mentioned, we do the domestic violence protective orders that are filed into family court. Those are like intimate partner or previous intimate partner relationships, or custodial, like parent-child, step-parent-child, those type of relationships only. Any other type of relationship, brother, sister, my boyfriend's ex-girlfriend, those type would all go to justice court, which is a different application, a different court. Clients can come in and meet with an advocate in person. We can go over the protective order with them, kind of explain it to them. It's an 8-page application. It can be very intimidating to some clients. So us being able to go through it with them step by step and just explain it to them does take a lot of stress off of them. And then when they've finished it, we can look over it and just make sure that they filled everything out properly, signed properly, and then we file it directly to the courts for them. So they do not have to go to another location. They can just come right here and get everything done.
Similar to that, we also help with victims of crime. For those of you who don't know, Victims of Crime is a state-funded program that assists victims of violent crime. They'll assist with certain expenses like medical, counseling, relocation. And this is often the most needed resource that almost all, or even I would say 100% of our victims always ask and have never heard about the program. So similar to the domestic violence protection orders, we'll meet with the client, kind of assess their needs, and go over the victims of crime application. With the victims of crime application, the normal process takes about 4 to 6 weeks for it to process. Now, if you have a copy of the police report, it can have a turnaround time in a week. And so with our access as Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department advocates, we can print out reports for domestic violence or sexual assault, and they will be free of charge. Usually at area commands, they do charge, but as long as they're a domestic violence or sexual assault report, we can get them printed out and also have it included on the Victims of Crime application. Once they're finished, we physically take the application and we'll submit it on their behalf. And oftentimes, if they're still confused about the process, we will kind of be the person in between victims of crime and them, trying to connect them together in order for it to be a smoother process. Here are some of the other resources we have. It's not limited to this. We do have a bunch of other list of referrals for general resources, but these are just kind of the main things that we assist with. So for breaking a lease, by law, a victim of domestic violence or sexual assault can break their lease. More often with the landlord, they just need a copy of their police report or their protection order, which we both can get. Not only do we print out the police reports, but we also have access to the courts in order to get them a copy of their protection order. We give them the actual breaking a lease paperwork, so that way it has directions, how to fill it out, and it kind of makes it easier for them to just hand it to their landlord and then break their lease. Another thing we assist with, like Genevieve was talking about, was legal aid. Just like all the other applications, we do go over the intakes, and we have a contact at the agency that we can send it over to on their behalf. Most of the time it's for divorce or custody issues, but we have sent some out for like landlord tenant, like the landlord won't let them out of their lease. We have referred over there as well. We also have bus passes that are limited per person. Each bus pass is like a 24-hour bus pass. It's mostly for them to get to and from the places they do need to go. If they need to go back to the hospital, if they need to meet with a detective at headquarters, or just have follow-up meetings with doctors. We also have temporary phones. So with the phones, they must have a recent incident where the phone was either stolen, broken, or let's say the offender shut down their service. It's a temporary phone that has a month's worth of talk, text, and internet. So it's really helpful, especially when at the beginning of the incident, they need to get in contact with the judges for the protection orders, the detectives, with us, with medical. So if you have any victims that were victims of domestic violence, sexual assault, or human trafficking, we're more than happy to help get them a phone. Due to COVID, we had to adapt a lot of our processes. So if a victim can't come in person, we do assist over the phone. So any of the resources that we were talking about, the applications that we fill out, we have made it easier for clients to do it through email or over the phone. We've made PDF files, we've made instructions, so we're able to assist them over the phone instead of them coming in person, whether it be they physically can't or they're just a little uncomfortable with the face-to-face person meeting. We've also created a QR code that we've been passing around to officers. Basically what the QR code is an actual connection to the PDF document for the protection orders. So a lot of our officers are using that in order to get victims who need an immediate protection order or need to fill it out right away. They can fill it out on their phone, or if they want to add the document to their computer, they can do so. So if for whatever reason your agency needs some QR code cards, we do have a bunch of them. So all you have to do is contact us and we can give you a box full of cards that you can hand out to certain people if you think that they're in need of a protection order. And lastly, For the referral process, you can always call our main line, which was at the beginning, it was 702-828-7714. If you would like a contact, because that's a little bit easier, you can always contact myself or Genevieve. And also, I want to put out there, you've heard that we do applications and send it over to the agency so the victim doesn't have to go around place to place. If your agency would benefit from our office in assisting with that application process, you can always reach out to us, and we are more than happy to help with the application as long as it's explained and we have like a point of contact with your agency. We'll be able to help get those intakes in for you as well. And then that is all. Does anyone have any questions?
Awesome. Thank you, ladies. I haven't seen any questions pop up in the chat, but if you want to unmute or ask a question in the chat, you feel free to do that now. Super quiet group today. Erin says, thank you. It's great to know you can help the clients over the phone while in our office. So that's awesome. So thank you, guys. Well, if we don't have any questions, I'll let you all get back to your day. We do have some provider appointment or slots available starting in October. If you want to be a presenter for the provider meetings, we have that available in October. Just go ahead and email